Federalist 8, Part 2. The institutions chiefly alluded to are standing armies and the correspondent appendages of military establishments. Standing armies, it is said, are not provided against in the new Constitution. And it is thence inferred that they may exist under it. This inference from the very form of the proposition is at best problematical and uncertain. But standing armies, it may be replied, must inevitably result from a dissolution of the Confederacy. Frequent war and constant apprehension, which require a state of constant preparation, will infallibly produce them. The weaker states or confederacies would first have recourse to them to put themselves upon an equality with their more potent neighbors. They would endeavor to supply the inferiority of population and resources by a more regular and effective system of defense, by disciplined troops, and by fortifications. They would at the same time be necessitated to strengthen the executive arm of government, in doing which their constitution would acquire a progressive direction towards monarchy. It is of the nature of war to increase the executive at the expense of the legislative authority. The more people are scared, the more people are afraid. They want one person to control everything so that they can maybe respond to an attack, so they give more and more power to the executive branch of the government, to one person or a small group of people. And that becomes the first steps for erosion, for taking away your liberties. That's what he's saying about what happens when standing armies are gradually constituted within a country, within a state. The expedients which have been mentioned would soon give the states or confederacies that made use of them a superiority over their neighbors. Small states or states of less natural strength, under vigorous governments and with the assistance of disciplined armies, have often triumphed over large states or states of greater natural strength, which have been destitute of these advantages. Neither the pride nor safety of the more important states or confederacies would permit them long to submit to this mortifying and adventitious superiority. They would quickly resort to means similar to those by which it had been effected, to reinstate themselves in their lost preeminence. Thus we should, in a little time, see established in every part of this country the same engines of despotism which have been the scourge of the old world. This at least would be the natural course of things, and our reasonings will be the more likely to be just in proportion as they are accommodated to this standard. There are no vague inferences drawn from supposed or speculative defects in a constitution, the whole power of which is lodged in the hands of a people or their representatives and delegates, but they are solid conclusions drawn from the natural and necessary progress of human affairs. It may perhaps be asked by way of objection to this, why did not standing armies sprang up out of the contentions which so often distracted the ancient republics of Greece. Different answers, equally satisfactory, may be given to this question. The industrious habit of the people of the present day, absorbed in the pursuits of gain and devoted to the improvement of agriculture and commerce, are incompatible with the condition of a nation of soldiers, which was the true condition of the people of those republics. The means of revenue, which have been so greatly multiplied by the increase of gold and silver, and of the arts of industry and the science of finance, which is the offspring of modern times, concurring with the habits of nations, have produced an entire revolution in the system of war, and have rendered disciplined armies distinct from the body of the citizens, the inseparable companion of frequent hostility. There is a wide difference also between military establishments in a country seldom exposed by its situation to internal invasions, and in one which is often subject to them and always apprehensive of them. The rulers of the former can have no good pretext, if they are even so inclined, to keep on foot armies so numerous as must of necessity be maintained in the latter. These armies being, in the first case, rarely, if at all, called into activity for inferior defense, the people are in no danger of being broken to military subordination. The laws are not accustomed to relaxation in favor of military exigencies. The civil state remains in full vigor, neither corrupted nor confounded with the principles or propensities of the other state. The smallness of the army renders the natural strength of the community an overmatch for it, and the citizens, not habituated to look up to the military power for protection or to submit to its oppressions, neither love nor fear the soldiery. They view them with a spirit of jealous acquiescence in a necessary evil, and stand ready to resist a power which they suppose may be exerted to the prejudice of their rights. See what he says? He says, if you have a big military, gradually the military establishment will think that they are your masters. But if you keep a small military, especially no standing army inside the country, or a very small standing army, people are always jealous. When he says jealous here, he means watchful. They're careful that their freedom will not be taken away. So they will make sure that the military, as well as their leaders, will not abuse their power that's given to them. Because as we will see in the next paragraph, he has a beautiful line to say that we all have to be very watchful of. Now in Farsi, وقتی که ارتش زیاد بشه، جنگم را بیفته، اصلا طبق معمول دیگه به مردم میگن ساکت باشید، بذارید ارتش کارشو بکنه، جونمون در خطر و این برنامه ها. ولی وقتی ارتشتون کوچیک باشه، مردمم با این طینت درستی توی جامعه زندگی میکنن که همیشه مواظب ارتش هستن که پاشو از گلیم خودش بیشتر بیرونتر نذاره و اجازه ندن کسایی که به اصطلاح رهبر و این برنامه ها هستن این ارتش رو استفاده بکنه، سرکوب بکنه مردم و یواش یواش آزادیشون رو بگیره. یعنی مردم صفتشون آزادی، صفت آزادی پرست میشن و به خاطر این همیشه حواسشون هستش که این ارتشه پاشو از گلیمش بیرون نذاره. و الان میبینیم دور و بر دنیا چجوری وضعیه اینه که نیمچه دیکتاتورن، زود میگن کشور در خطره، از کشورهای دیگه هم پول میگیرن که ارتششون رو قوی نگه دارن. ارتش هم نه به خاطر اینکه از مرزشون دفاع بکنه، بلکه ارتش استفاده میکنه بزنه تو سر مردم. اینجا هم این داره میگه ما نبایستیم اینو راه بندازیم تو این مملکت که مجبور بشیم ارتش بزرگی داشته باشیم.